Hi there, Bitcoin from the Big Chubowski. I've recently started building my Padme counter to a Relic 7 General Skywalker team and encountered problems with the guides that are out there. So I figured I should make my own to help some of you out as well. Now I'm aware that CLS Rebels is a more consistent counter to General Skywalker, but with the reality of my 4.4mil GP roster in mind, and in full preparation of the upcoming meta, I'm working with what I have, and I'm definitely not alone in that. So looking at the current guides out there, I found that many are outdated, from before ARC Troopers release. They had Ahsoka in there as 5th, which makes the fight much easier. With one less clone in the team, Rex doesn't get to use his aerial advantage move as quickly, as the cooldowns are not reduced as much. So as an answer to ARC being added to the team, a lot of people started using Grandmaster Yoda in their squad arena. And while it's the best option over there, it's really not an option for Territory Wars and Grand Arena. The Jedi Knight Revan team really needs Grandmaster Yoda to work, and he's also the key to success in a Ki-Adi-Mundi team, which we will probably eventually get. Now, the guys that I found without Grandmaster Yoda, where they do fight ARC Trooper, looked very promising, but when I tested their setups using the same mods and gameplay, I found that the success rates were far from reliable, especially in crucial game modes like Territory Wars and Grand Arena, where you can just try things over and over until you finally get your rewards. So, it's also entirely possible I'm just not as skilled as these people are, but I'm sure many people will struggle to get reliable win rates without using their Grandmaster Yoda. So for the team, you will need a Relic 4 Padme, Relic 7 Jedi Knight Anakin and GK, and Relic 4 Ahsoka to be consistent. It can definitely be done with less, also if the opposing team has less relics than a full Relic 7 team, but again, we're looking for something reliable here. For the 5th character in the Padme team, you have 3 options. Let's look into those, go over some gameplay, and I'll show you the modding in the end if you're one of those amazing people that makes it that far. So option 1 is to use C3PO. He can stand his ground at gear 12 actually if he has the Medpack gear piece and the Zeta that makes him start with 2 stacks of translation, as this gives him a 30% max health boost. The benefit of using C3PO is that it allows you to keep R2D2 with Rey Jedi training, where he's excellent for crowd control. The downside is that you may like C3PO on your CLS team as well, but more importantly, you sacrifice a lot of damage against the 501st, as C3PO's courage is never actually used. In my testing with C3PO, I often ended up falling short in terms of damage despite all of the relics that my team has. I had to get lucky that I wouldn't get too many buffs dispelled, so that I could build up enough courage to still take out the entire team, or at least the clones. So my conclusion is that C3PO is only an option if you're okay with clearing part of the team. Wins are certainly possible, but uncommon. You will lose often, and sometimes you won't even kill anyone other than 5s, which is somewhat depressing. Using C3PO is not preferable in a critical game mode like Grand Arena or Territory Wars, unless you have no other choice. Option 2 is to use Shaak Ti. She was my most consistent 5th character to take that 501st down to just General Skywalker left. She builds up stupid amounts of courage on the Padme team very quickly with her non-combat moves. It's really crazy. The benefit of using Shaak is that you may have or plan to relic her for the Reek special mission in Lightside GOTB, which rewards Ki-Adi-Mundi shards. Now, when Shaak is relicked up, she's very durable and won't give you any trouble by dying off early like the droids might. If you have a General Skywalker team yourself, then you also won't be using Shaak in any way for Territory Wars or Grand Arena, so this gives her a nice use. The downside is that while it's incredibly consistent to defeat part of the team, killing the entire 501st is not consistent enough from my testing. If Arc's turret dispels too many of your buffs, you run into the same problem where you fall short on damage. My conclusion is that Shaak is a solid option if you're okay with occasionally cleaning up after her. Option 3 is to use R2D2. He is by far the best option, but he must be relicked up for this to work reliably. Even with my very best mods to make my Gear 12 R2D2 healthy enough under Padme lead, he still gets killed by the AoEs from General Skywalker and Echo in many battles during the opening round. After bonuses, you can probably get him to around 130k health and protection at Gear 12+, which is just not enough to survive those two. At Gear 13, however, he is tanky enough to survive the opening round, and that makes a really big difference. R2 is so great here because his smoke screen stops the counters from General Skywalker, as characters cannot be countered while under stealth. Now the stealth also saves you from constantly getting your buffs dispelled by Ark's turret, which is constantly assisting. Under Padme lead, these buffs get converted into the courage stacks that you so desperately need to beat the 501st team. Now R2 is definitely the best option if he's at gear 13, but if you can't spare those resources yet for whatever reason, then you'll have to go with Shaak Ti or C3PO. In the fight itself, you'll find two main challenges. The first one is that you need to topple General Skywalker quickly enough so that the 501st doesn't stack too much offense. And toppling him quickly is made very difficult by the RNG of whether General Skywalker uses an AoE in the beginning as the first move, before you have protection up from the hits of the other clones. Because if General Skywalker hits you when you don't have protection up, he will reduce your cooldowns across the entire team, which slows you down big time and might buy the 501st enough time to build up so much offense. The second challenge is to kill off 5s quickly enough while Skywalker is in cover mode, so that you can also still take out Rex or Echo before they blow you up with their specials. This is made difficult by the clones spreading around their attacks to keep your buffs and thus courage stacks down. Of course the clones get into their 200 IQ mode the second you use Padme against them, so you will definitely be bleeding a lot of buffs. If you can overcome these two challenges, you will have enough characters left to take out General Skywalker, but you can still occasionally lose. As mentioned before, a Relic R2D2 will help you to overcome these challenges most consistently. The kill order is pretty much always going to be to topple General Skywalker, kill 5s, then Echo, Rex, Ark, and finally General Skywalker. Now the reason why you want to kill Echo before Rex is that losing one character to the Annihilate sucks, but losing your entire team to the AoE sucks a lot more. At least Rex's aerial advantage can be evaded through a lucky foresight still. I don't necessarily play like this in all of the testing, as you may have noticed. I very often kill Rex first and then Echo, but in all of the testing, for me it was most consistent to actually take out Echo first to avoid his second AoE in the fight, which is really quite deadly at that point. Now if you're using Shaak Ti, do not use her specials to dispel debuffs. You want Padme to dispel those so that you can get more courage. And the same goes for GK's cleanse ability as well. Now finally, in terms of mods, this is probably where I can still improve the most. The recommended speed order is to have your C3PO, R2D2 or Shaak Ti the fastest, then Padme, then GK, then Jedi Knight Anakin, and finally Ahsoka. Now it's important to keep the unique speed boosts of C3PO and Ahsoka in mind here as well. If possible, you want to leave about 10 to 15 speed between each character so that 5 speed down doesn't mess up your turn order. Now you'll want Padme to have health sets and a possible potency set if you can get her healthy enough, though I find that you can give her a lot of potency through 6E secondaries instead of just giving her a potency set. You want GK to have defense and health sets with as much health as possible. Jedi Knight Anakin should have an offense and a health set with a health circle, critical damage triangle, and offense cross. You could give him an offense arrow too, but if you have a health or a critical damage set arrow with a speed primary and an offense percentage secondary, then you can actually get that to like 6% offense secondary at 6E, which is almost as much as the 8.5% that you would get on the primary at 6E. So it might be more interesting for you to do that if you have a good percent offense secondary on one of those mods. Now Ahsoka should have a health set with either an offense or a CD set, a crit damage triangle, an offense cross again, and since she doesn't need much speed, an offense arrow can actually work great for her. Now if you're using C3PO, he should have a speed and a health or defense set if possible. He needs to survive here, his debuffs and thus his potency don't really matter. If you're using Shaak Ti, she just needs a speed and a health set. Some health primaries are preferred but not required. And finally, if you're using R2D2, he can work with health sets or with speed and potency sets. As long as he's relicked and survivable enough with some 6E health or protection primaries, then he'll be okay. Now if any of these mods change after learning more about the team or from your comments, then I will edit that into the video description. Now I hope this guide has helped you out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you look forward to more.